Hey y'all.
Look over here.
Welcome to the Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. And you are watching.
Look over here.
Yes, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I did something I don't usually do. I changed into a different shirt for this look over here. I wanted to pay homage to everybody's favorite chicken thrower. I'm wearing my brand new Desiree Dick shirt. Yes. My girl Desiree. And you know what? I also got a sticker and a pin from her. So thank you for the extra stuff, Desiree. That was very nice of you. But I am just drinking some water right now. And I also have my cup mug. And you can also get a cup mug. Yes. At lonagecreations.etsy.com. We do ship internationally, so there are no excuses.
Hello, my name is Jack. I am your resident live experience designer, which is a lot of buzzwords to say that I run in. I
They sabotage you with those buzzwords. You
They really do. You know, Disney, if you'd like to hire. Am I like fully dead?
No, you're good now, but
great.
Your buzzwords, we didn't hear those, but you're back now.
Well, the buzzwords I use were live experience designer, which if that doesn't make sense to you, yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. It doesn't. The words don't work. Anyway, I am simply just drinking some water, and I am ready for what is honestly probably the weirdest episode of Look Over Here that's going to be produced.
For sure. We do have Eve the bunny, but she hopped away and she hopped back.
Sorry, I had to adjust some things and making me a little sneak. But it's me, Eve the Bunny, Chicago drag artiste, maven, icon, and queen of Ivy Park. I am still here in the same Ivy Park drip that I wore in the review video. Why? Because I didn't feel like changing. But I'm still in my olive green fantasy. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my feeling mine. That's a Beyonce reference. And I'm finishing up my gas station Coca-Cola. Always Coca-Cola.
Well, we're back at it. I'm not gonna drag it out. This might be a short look over here.
It will be a short one.
It will.
It's not my
We're gonna get straight into it. You all know what to do. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. But let's go ahead and bring up these looks. So we have our first group here. Eve, what do you think about pie?
So it's funny because I think somebody was trying to bash Pie's look or whatever, because I would say, yeah, it's a bit downgraded, more so than everybody else's is. I do think it's kind of like, I do still think it fits within the realm of like that punk rock vibe that they're trying to all give within their group. Like, you're gonna have somebody half naked, shirtless, and leather. You know what I mean? So like, I understand that. It didn't look horrible to me. It looked a little bit easy, but I mean, everybody's outfits kind of looked a little easy, depending on how many spikes they did or didn't have on them. I liked Pie's makeup the best out of everybody's faces, to be honest. I like how the black that they used went all the way back into their head and stuff. So even back from this far back, it looks like they almost have like a black ski like cap or something like over their whole like back of their head, or it's like hooded and then like their face is just out. So like I really like appreciate that aesthetic too. It was funny too because I also didn't realize that those were birthday hats on his shoulders.
Are they?
Oh yeah. My god, they are.
Yes.
It is like full silver birthday hats, and that's why they have like little strings on them. Oh my god.
I noticed that in the boudoir. I was like, that was kind of smart.
So for me personally, this is my least favorite look that Pie has worn so far. And I think it's just because compared to everything else we've seen from Pi, it's basic. It's not really that big. I mean, the only way I'd be able to tie it in with the others is that it's black and has spikes on it. I do really like the makeup. I don't understand the belly button circle thing. It just, I don't know. I really do love the makeup on this look, though. That is honestly my favorite part. It's very clearly Pi, but also very clearly in the theme of this challenge. But everything else is kind of just, it fits to me. It doesn't really spark joy.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'll just go ahead and say this group overall, I did not like their looks as much as the other group. I think the other group had more to work with rats. For me, I do think Pi has the least going on with their look. Like it's a lot of skin, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just leaves me thinking it looks kind of incomplete. I guess for the specific challenge, it's fine. And I do see what you all are saying about the makeup, like especially close up. I really liked the makeup in the amount of details. It's just kind of from afar, it gets a little muddied for me. And it's the same thing I say about Cynthia Doll too. Like just that specific like style of makeup, it makes it hard for me to keep the features from afar. So overall, did not love Pi's look. Scores.
I'm going to give Pi a 75.
I was also going to go with a 75.
Ooh, okay, then
Oh no.
I gave Pi a 55.
It's a small piece of pie.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. At least I didn't do what I wanted to do, which was say 3.1415.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Next, I was about to skip slides, but they're all here. So next up, we have Aurora Cosmic.
Aurora Cosmic. Okay. I think a general thing that I like her hair a lot the most out of everything. I live for this pageant snatch back updo kind of situation, ponytail fall thing in the back. That I live for. Other than that, something else that I noticed that's pretty much a consistent thing with everybody is like I feel like that they got the. I feel like one group took their name literally and one group didn't, and this group didn't. I was very surprised no one had any kind of scales or anything on them like an actual snake. They went for ours is like a rock band called the Snake Pit as opposed to like actual freaking snakes. And the rats were like, no, we're actual rats. You know what I mean? Like we've got 2 teeth and shit. You know what I mean? Like no one had a snake tongue. No one had like their version of scales was green fishnets. And I was just kind of like, that for me, I feel like is such a weak concept given what they were given that they could work with. And so for me, I was underwhelmed by most of everybody's looks. It all for me looks like IML. If you are familiar with International Men of Leather, which is the big fetish party that happens in Chicago on Memorial Day weekend, that's what they all seem to look like. They all look like they went to IML. They don't look like snakes. They kind of wore me out a little bit. So I wasn't mad with Aurora's look. I just think that look-wise, I'm not giving any of them really high marks because I feel like they kind of all missed the brief. It was very, everybody's very like, I'm going to my first Metallica concert. Like, I don't know. It was just, yeah, I'm not the craziest about it. I'm sorry, girl, I love you.
That is pretty much the exact critiques that I had. I will give credit to, I do kind of like the neon green ripped fishnets on the arms. And I also really love the hair. Compared to everyone else, this makeup is not enough. I know Aurora is used to giving face and being really glamorous. The makeup here needs to be toned up to be matching everyone else's. And looking at all four of them, it feels like this is the most different in not the greatest of ways. I think this is ultimately just, it fits the brief, and that's about it. There's nothing really that jumps out to me other than, it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think actually, and the bar's not high, I think the actual outfit that she's wearing might be my favorite of the four of them. But it still is not anything groundbreaking by any means. It's a little edgy for her, I guess. But she just does not feel cohesive with the rest of the group. I wish she had really pushed herself outside of the box and done something creative with her makeup. But just looking at her aesthetically, I think she looks decent. Scores, Eve, if you're there.
Boom. Yeah, bro, I gotta give you a 75 too, girl, because it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad, but I don't feel like I need to write home about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a 70.
I gave her a 64.
64, Zulane.
Next, we have Asia. What do you think, Eve?
I think Asia looks the way that Asia always looks, but green. Which is, like I said, that's another thing. I love you to death, but if people are starting to give recurring, I would say, things to the point where it doesn't really look like they're playing too much with their makeup. It gets to a point almost where it looks like it is the same face, just in different colors. You know what I mean? I feel like that I'm getting that. I'm now starting to get that from Asia's makeup. I feel like this is very similar to her Art the Clown look. I feel like this is very similar to her voodoo doll or voodoo priestess look. I think this is very similar to her ghost look, but it was blue. So it's one of those where I'm kind of like, I will applaud her for having the most spikes out of everybody out of the group. Because I do think the boots are sickening. But everything else is just like you just put on a little corset, a little with some spikes on it, and those boots and that makeup, and that was kind of going to carry the whole thing. I like the hair. I do wish the hair was bigger. I wish the hair was as big as Jaharia's. Like, I wanted height out of it, and it was a lot of hair. It was kind of 80s. It was, like I said, I felt like their theme was rock band as opposed to snakes. But I kind of wish I could have still saw a little bit more. Maybe if it was in a ponytail, it came down like that, so it gave her more height, and she was just like stupid statuesque. I feel like that would have worked, but like everything else feels like she kind of it felt phoned in. You know what I mean? Look wise.
I do specifically want to give Asia credit on one thing in particular, and that is, if you look at her makeup, I want to say that it looks like snake eyes. And that I will give credit on, of like, okay, you kind of are dragging up this look and you're intentionally bringing in the elements of snakes. I do like the ripped fishnets in lime green here as well. This is personally my favorite outfit of the four. But I mean, beyond that, I'm just like, yeah, it's a pretty good look. There's nothing particularly like stand out compared to the other team, but it's a pretty good look.
I'm with you. This is actually my favorite of the four as well. I think she looks good. Of course, like the bar's not super high with this group. I do think my favorite thing anybody is wearing are these boots that she has on. I thought those were really cool. I like her makeup. I think it's similar to things she's done, but it's still a variation of it. Like, I don't think it's an exact replica of everything. Like, I'm seeing a lot more variety in her makeup than you are, I think, Eve. Also, I like that she did something with the chest. I know you critiqued that in the recap episode, but I like that it's not just bare chest there and that there's something actually going on there, because I will critique somebody in a different group for just having a boring bare chest. But yeah, overall, nothing amazing, but it's still my favorite. Scores.
75.
Ooh,
82.
I gave her 68.
Oh, now I gave her a high score than you.
Yep. And then last from this group, we have Jaharia.
Jaharia. And I. Okay. My favorite part about Jaharia's look is Jaharia's hair. I live for that mohawk. I love the fact that, and this is also kind of too where it makes us feel like this is like a variation of the Monsters of Rock challenge, because I'm like, look, it's a rock band, you know. But given the fact that their aesthetic was supposed to be kind of rocker-ish, even though they're supposed to be snakes, I wanted somebody that just had the biggest hair, like to see if someone was going to give me like a little mohawk situation or whatever. So I thought it was sickening. I thought it worked for Jaharia. I also think that Jaharia is very lucky because I feel like Jaharia is someone as well who does a lot of the same looks with their face. You don't see a whole bunch of variations in their makeup. Their makeup and their face is very signature. It's kind of the same face a lot. This worked a lot for them because it gave Kiss vibes. But I feel like that I wish they would have even taken that a little bit further and added more Kiss into it, like where maybe they did have it look like they were all members of Kiss, but if the members of Kiss were all snakes or something, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what I wish that I kind of would have gotten from this. Like Gene Simmons as a snake, like hello, he does the tongue thing, like it would work perfectly. Like the way that my mind feels sometimes when I'm just like, no, that opportunity was so missed. I think it's cute. I think it's sickening. I think it's an IML fetish like outfit look. I think it goes with the whole thing. And you guys all looking cohesive. Do I think it's anything to write home about? No.
So there is one thing with this particular look that potentially maybe throws me off a little bit. I feel like this is punk and rock crossed with almost disco in a weird way. Maybe it's the hair, maybe it's the pose in this picture, but I'm getting just influences of exactly. I'm getting influences of disco, and I'm not mad about it. Maybe it feels wrong. I do love the makeup here. I do love Jahari's outfit, but once again, it just is something where it feels kind of simple and maybe not exactly what the challenge asked for, although unfortunately it was very unclear. And between this team and the Rats, this team went per performance. The Rats went for characterization, and I feel like we were debating. It's almost like a debate between the two the whole time on what's really the right thing to do for this challenge. And I think that's why particularly it is strange.
It looks like the Rats were styled by a costumer for this musical, and it looks like they were told to make their own outfits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Jaharia, I think she looks fine. I think my biggest issue with it is there's not much of a point of view with it, so it doesn't really give me anything to talk about. Like the way that you all managed to talk, as long as you all did about this look, I'm very impressed because there's just nothing to say about it. Scores.
I'm going to nothing to say for real. Okay.
I really don't.
75.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the 75.
58. Okay.
Jaharia, David hates you.
I love Jaharia. She knows that if she's watching. Let's go to the next group, our Rats. And let's start off with Gray Matter. Eve, as you put food in your mouth, I'm so sorry. Jack?
I'm gonna let Eve go.
They gave me more like they were in an actual musical.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that we were seeing a rock concert with the first challenge, with the previous group. With this group, this very much gives me like Cats, but it's with rats, so it's called Rats. Like it's that. You know what I mean? Like everyone has a little face prosthetic. They all look like they're a specific character, like a specific rat in the little whatever family of rats that they have. You know what I mean? They sound like they kind of had a little mission. Maybe they're trying to get a rat hotel. I don't know, child. Like they got like the Gray looking like he has like freaking rabies, scabies. Is like giving me my life. I have not lived so much more for Gray's makeup now than I have ever on this show so far, because like I said, I feel like that they could have easily fell back into kind of their Gray aesthetic and just in a whole prosthetic mask or something, but just doing a lot of makeup stuff, like the way they did their mustache and all those other kind of things. I was like, I love for that side of drag, when it comes to what I'm looking for, because it does almost just add an extra layer of creativity to their artistry. That is one of the tenets of Dragula, is drag. So I do like the fact when I get to see somebody really kind of almost chameleonize themselves. And Gray's been able to do that very easily throughout this entire season. But I also will say it's been very easy for Gray because half the time we haven't seen his face. So being able to still see their face and still see elements of Gray, but it still look like it's just this whole completely different character. I gained a lot more respect points for Gray for this season, being like, okay, you know what? I kind of now I want to see you in the finals. Not saying I didn't want to see you in the finals. It's just I don't like you to get very stuck one trick pony and then you make it to the finals and I'm like, well, girl, I already know what you're gonna do. Like, you're not gonna shock me or wow me. I feel like Gray still has some tricks in their sleeve that's really gonna like wow everybody.
This is the one challenge that out of all of them, maybe I thought Gray would really struggle with, just because this is so much more into the drag side of Dragula versus the horror side and the like,
as opposed to being just scary.
As opposed to being scary, as opposed to being like just basic performance. This is full on like theater drag. And I think what this really showed is that Gray knows what the fuck they're doing and can basically tone down and adjust any part of their work to fit objectives. Because this is incredible. This is my favorite look of the night, hands down. I think the scabies is done so well.
There are rhinestone.
They are fucking rhinestone. This is drag on a beautiful level. The headpiece I really like. It's simple, but it's all simple's not the right word. It doesn't have this like flowing hair. It's clearly masked, but in a way that is still very fun. It has the elements of horror that we know from Gray, but it's elevated almost to like,
it's very Throb Zombie.
It's very Rob Zombie, and almost like if Gray, Throb. Okay, yeah, my brain is not working. It very much feels like Gray's normal work is what you would see at a haunted house, and maybe this is what you'd see at like the haunted house where they bring kids in and it's supposed to be fun. And like, that's what I love to see. It feels almost like pantomime, like UK style pantomime or theater, but in Gray's mind. And I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm with you all. This is pretty clearly my favorite look. I like that they went a more drag route, but still kept it androgynous. I thought that was a cool angle to go with. All of the bedazzling was really cool. I like that we still have the signature like headpiece in the middle with the spikes around it. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I thought Gray showed that they are adaptable, and I really appreciated that. Scores.
Yeah, you did what you need to do with the Raven Scabies star. But yeah, I even remember last episode, that was the one thing I said that I wanted more from Gray. There's a little bit more drag in their looks. And I said, and an example I remember I gave was like him having all the blood on it. If the blood was rhinestone, that was giving you drag. And then when Alaska like pointed that out, I was like, oh, he's giving drag. I was like, I I'm gonna give Gray a full cup for this one because
Ooh.
this one was sickening. This one was sickening. I liked it a lot.
I am also going to give Gray a full cup for basically the same reason. I think this is like clearly what the challenge called for. And Gray not only nailed it, but nailed it in a way that we wouldn't necessarily expect from him.
Well,
Like Gray, yeah.
I'm gonna sound like a hater because I gave Gray an 81. But yeah. Let's move on to Auntie Heroine.
Auntie Heroine is my sister. I think her outfit honestly the weakest one out of the four. She looks like she used to be in the snake pit, and then she turned into a rat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, her outfit looks almost a little bit more like it could have fit with them, except for just like the paisley tights or whatever. But I felt like that she possibly had one of the strongest characterizations. One of them, I do think that the flub up kind of threw her off, but I do think she was somebody else that very deeply leaned into the fact that I'm doing this as a character. I'm not just up here like performing. I have a shtick to it. So I like it. When it comes to the quality of what we've seen Auntie Heroine wear, this is probably like my least favorite thing I've ever seen her wear on the show as of right now. Everything else has had so much more of an elaborate push towards it. This was also one where I felt like, I mean, everyone else looked okay, but I do feel like she forgot her outfit, and so she had to make something last minute. So I'm not going to be giving her the highest score on the look, unfortunately. Sorry, girl, I love you.
For me, I did really like this look in terms of its quality. I do like the amount of facial work here. It's very clear. You can immediately tell who is the older elder rat. I think it worked as a concept. She was given a lot to play with, and she played with it pretty well. I do like the hair as well. I enjoy the kind of joke poop stain on the back of her. I think it's definitely a lot more comedy angle to it. And I'm not sure if the poop was rhinestoned or not, but it very well could have been. I will say that it is probably the weakest thing that Auntie Heroine has brought so far, but I'm not mad at it.
I think I'm going to need that as an out of context clip. I'm not sure if the poop was rhinestoned or not.
Oh,
Wait, what's the poop rhinestone?
I don't know. That's a thing. I genuinely don't know the answer to it.
Me neither. But what I do know is I agree with you all. This is my least favorite of the four looks. And it's not bad. Like, I do think this is kind of on par with most of the snake looks, kind of like what Eve was saying. I think my biggest issue, and I alluded to this earlier, is the breastplate was a little distracting for me because it's just so bare. There's nothing going on there. I wish there was something like just to add like any sort of level of texture or something else just instead of mostly breastplate right here. And it didn't look very realistic. Like, I've never had issues with her breastplate before, but it was distracting for me in this challenge. I think she looks fine. Scores?
And I'm gonna give you, like the snakes, a 75.
I was also going to go with about a 75.
I gave her 65.
Ooh, sheesh, man.
Okay. And then next up we have Vivvi the Force.
Vivvi the Force. Okay. Pros of your look. I like this rocker type aesthetic that you got going on. It's giving. It works a lot with the other ones because it doesn't 150% look like I am trying to be a rocker. It's like I'm like a rock scene kid. You know what I mean? Like you're very like I'm one of the we're the emo rats from school, like that kind of a thing. as opposed to like we're trying to be the monsters of rock. So I liked it. I love the personality that your look gave. Downsides, you had 2 sets of ears and you had 2 sets of earrings on them, which kind of really threw me off. You had long pageant earrings on your regular ears, and then you had rat ears in front of them with like a little hoop on it. So that took me off. I was like, that doesn't make any sense because your ears would move, but then the earrings wouldn't, or your earrings would move, but then your ears wouldn't. And I'd be like, what? Also, as well, especially because now I'm noticing it, you seem to be the bluest out of all of the rats, and it kind of makes me feel like that. What's that Disney Pixar movie, Onward? Is that what that is?
Oh yeah, I love Onward.
That's what I feel like he looks like. He looks like that dude from that, and it almost takes me a little out of the rat. Other than that, I do love the hair. I love the tail. I don't know if Auntie had one or not because I can't tell, but I'm like, it looks like you and Gray have tails. I don't know if
Auntie had like a half tail, it was like a stubby tail. She showed it at one point. Yeah.
Okay. I like the long tail. I'm a size queen. I like the long tail.
I think it was short because she's old. Like it probably got chopped off.
She lost it a couple times, got nipped. But yeah, look wise, I wasn't horribly against this. It did also as well give me. It makes me think of my Missouri sister Diabetes. This looks very much like if Diabetes styled a rat. But I live for it. I think that just goes with the aesthetic, like I said, of you guys being like a different set of rockers in this, I don't know, rock musical of this kind of West Side Story thing or whatever this is supposed to be. Yeah, period. That wasn't bad for you. That was not bad for you. I'd say one of the better looks that you've had, since some of them would be kind of like full swings and like not a full home run, but like you get to third base. I'd say this is closest to base you've got. You were running the base, but you still got tagged. That's why you're out.
Yeah, I mean, this look, I mean, I think perfectly you said it with like a rocker seeing kid. That's perfectly what this look embodies. Until you had mentioned the 2 different earrings, I was like, okay, these are some interesting earrings. Why are you wearing 2 earrings on your ears? That is such a weird choice to make with this look. Like, I don't understand that. I will say, once again, I think this look is fine. I think it's very, very clear what the personality is of this rat, and the characterization is there. The makeup, I don't necessarily understand why the blue. You could have gone with a red on top, and that probably would have been fine. But I mean, once again, I'm not mad at this look.
Yeah, I think it actually might have been my second favorite of the night. I definitely think she had the best wig of anybody in both groups. I also really like her boots. Like those feel tall and they really give her length. Also, when I saw her on the stage, she was the one, like she must have been so bedazzled because anytime she was up front performing, there were just so many lights like reflecting all of the stoning on her. So I thought that was a cool touch. So yeah, I like it. It's pretty good. Scores.
I will give an 85 to Vivvi the Force.
I will give an 80.
And I will take up Eve's mantle and give her a 75. And then last we have Yuri.
Yuri. Okay. Yuri for me gave I am a Lady Gaga fan. My favorite album is The Fame Monster. My favorite song is Alejandro and Bad Romance. And So Happy I Could Die. Like, that's what she gave me. I live for that, though. I thought it was sickening. I like the fact that she was kind of like the only girl out of the group. Like everybody else wanted to be boys. She was
Sexy
like, I'll
rat.
be the girl, I'll be the singer, I'll be the, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. It's very No Doubt if they were rats. You know what I mean? Like, I live for it. I think it's cute. She's very Gwen Stefani if she was a rat, period. Um, yeah, I liked Yuri a lot. For me, Yuri was my second favorite.
Yeah, I mean, this was, in my opinion, just a pretty damn good look. I like the lace on the bottom into the like knee revealing skirt. I don't necessarily understand the cross on her chest, and I'm double checking the footage here just so I have a good image of what her hair like. Yeah, for me, I don't
It's like a spiky
necessarily
mohawk.
I don't necessarily understand why hers is an ultra spiky mohawk. That part, I think, with just everything else, doesn't exactly work with me. It just feels disconnected in a weird way. But overall, I really do like the look. I like the makeup. It's very clear it's a rat, but it is also very sexy, very beautiful, that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she rounds out my top three. I thought this was a cute look. It's a little simple, but it still looks good on her. I kind of like the spiky mohawk. I thought that was a good touch. My favorite part of the look, though, we actually can't see in this photo, but she had like this trash boa that I thought was really cute.
The Boa Jam.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, yeah, she was pretty good. It's just like nothing I'm gonna remember in a week or two. So scores.
Yes. She was giving me like Hot Topic outfit.
Hmm.
Like she went to the buckle and they had affliction dresses. Like that kind of a situation. Like I kind of live. She's giving me Y2K a little bit, which I kind of live for. I'll give her a. I'll give her an 87.
I will stick with an 85.
I gave her a 73.
Yeah.
And with that, we are done with the looks. So we are going to get out of here. But please, if you haven't checked out our recap for this episode, you want to do yourself a favor and check that out because we had a lot of strong opinions, I would say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A
And
lot
some
of
conspiracy theories, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
very strong conspiracy theories, very strong mentions of what the fuck Dragula. This episode was some very choice words were exchanged by almost all of us.
Yeah.
Very true. But yes, if you're still here, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video, comment on this video, follow our social media. Those have been scrolling across the bottom there. You can also find the link for Lana's Etsy store where you can buy merch like cup mugs. It's lanagcreations.etsy.com. But we are going to get out of here. So cheers.